I am so excited to give you an amazing cheesecake recipe. It's simple and it's universal. You can make any type of cheesecake that you want. Hello, welcome to the Cottage Bakery. A lot of you have been liking my YouTube channel. Thought I'd do something a little different with the holidays coming up. I've been baking every day, literally every day since I was 9 years old. My mother had the Betty Crocker cookbook, with the one with the red and white buffalo plaid covering on it, and I opened it up and the first thing I made was a cream puff. I was 9 years old and I knocked it out of the park. So this was a God-given talent that I have. But there was one thing that I could not, it took me years and years and years to master, and that's a cheesecake. So with the holidays coming up, I thought I would show you some secrets to making a perfect cheesecake every single time. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your oven is at 350 degrees. Now you can buy those little things in the grocery store. They hang on the center of the rack in your oven. You turn your oven on, put it in there for a while, and make sure that it's 350 degrees. This is gonna matter when you're making a cheesecake. You're making cake, you can adjust it or whatever, but it does matter with cheesecake. There's a lot of things that matter with cheesecake. I'm gonna give you an amazing tasting recipe for cheesecake. So if you don't have your pen and paper, pause this and go get it because you're gonna want it. Today, I'm gonna make an Oreo cheesecake. If you're gonna be buying low-fat cream cheese or whatever, don't bother making your cheesecake. Cheesecake is made to be fattening and to eat, and that's what makes it taste good. I will only use Philadelphia cream cheese when I'm making a cheesecake. In fact, when I have to use cream cheese in anything, I will only use the Philadelphia cream cheese. So the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna make our crumbs. Now, because I'm making an Oreo cheesecake, I am making an Oreo crust. You can use whatever. You can do pecans. You can do, the typical graham cracker. You can do hazelnut. You can do so many different crusts. You're limited to your imagination is really how it goes. What you do is you take 1 1/4 cups of whatever you're choosing. I've chosen Oreo. You mix that with 1/4 cup of sugar, and then we're going to use 4 tablespoons. It's 5 if you're using graham cracker crumbs, but if you're with the Oreos, I find I need less butter, so I'm using 4 tablespoons of butter. Pop that in the microwave for 30 seconds. It'll be melted, and I'm gonna stir this in. We are then gonna press it into a 9-inch pan, springform pan. Now, if you see, I've taken a piece of parchment paper and put it on the bottom. This was a trick I learned about 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm telling you, when I've been trying to master this, I've been trying a long time. I was having problems with the bottom sticking no matter what I did. This has assured that when my cheesecake is done, my bottom does not stick at all. It's simple, easy peasy. So you're gonna put that in between the layers. You're then gonna wrap the outside of your pan in aluminum foil. Shiny side in. It does matter. The shiny side reflects heat. So if you put it on the outside, it's gonna push the heat away from the cheesecake. You don't wanna do that. You want the shiny side on the inside, okay? Butter's done. Just gonna mix this up. And it's not gonna be real wet. Doesn't need to be. I'm gonna dump it in my cheesecake pan. I'm gonna spread it around a little bit with a measuring cup or maybe my spatula. And now I'm gonna press it in there. Just take your measuring cup and press it lightly down, going around the edges. The next important part is you're gonna wanna bake this for 10 minutes. What's gonna happen is sugar is a liquid. So we need to turn that solid into a liquid. And that's what's gonna happen in that 10 minutes you're baking. It's gonna make a nice, like a tart kind of shell is what it's gonna do, okay? So we're gonna put this in here. That's my oven. And we're gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. We're gonna use a timer a lot for what we're doing. In the interim of that happening, we are gonna start our cheesecake. You're gonna use a timer a lot. Multiple timers is good because now we've got the cheesecake timer, or the crust timer on, and now we're gonna start our cheesecake. This is the height of this cheesecake. Wow. That's a high New York cheesecake. They're usually about, it's usually about 2/3 of what you're seeing now, a cheesecake. So this is a high cheesecake, and I'm gonna tell you how we get that. The little black dots that you see in there, that is vanilla bean paste. Again, you can use vanilla extract, but if you really want it to taste top notch, you're gonna want the vanilla bean paste. Now there's a couple people sitting here with us today. I'm gonna let them taste this for the first time. They've never had it before. You can taste it with the difference with vanilla bean as opposed to a vanilla extract.
Very good.
Yeah.
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 Mmm, so good and tasty.
So now we're gonna start the cheesecake. You're gonna take 8 ounces, which is 1 brick. You're gonna take a 1/4 cup of cornstarch and a 1/3 cup of sugar. Okay? And you're gonna mix this on medium. You're gonna wanna use a stand mixer here if you have one. If you don't, I'm sorry, but your arms are probably gonna get tired, because this is important, the mixing time when mixing this cheesecake. Okay, well, mixing any cheesecake. So I'm mixing those two together, and what I'm trying to do is I am trying to get the cornstarch and the sugar to solidify inside the cream cheese so that when we mix it, it's cohesive. We're not gonna have little things of cornstarch here and we're gonna get an even distribution is what I'm trying to say. Okay, once it came together, like right now, I'm gonna set my timer for 3 minutes, and I'm gonna let this go a little bit higher, on medium high, for 3 minutes. I'll be back in 3 minutes. All right, so after it's mixed for 3 minutes, and please do not cut yourself short when you're doing this. These times are very important, the ones I'm giving you. I think I forgot to tell you that make sure all your ingredients are at room temperature. I am now going to scrape my bowl. You want to scrape your bowl a lot when it comes to cheesecakes, a lot. They tend to not, you get those lumps sometimes. We don't want that. So there you go, that's what you have. Now we're gonna put in another 1/3 cup of sugar and 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese. And we're just gonna mix until that is combined. Just give it a minute. Little at a time is the secret here. Okay, that's good. Now we're gonna put in the cup. So total in all, you need 1 2/3 cup of sugar, 32 ounces of cream cheese. You're gonna start with 8 ounces of cream cheese, a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and a 1/3 cup of sugar. After that, you're just gonna incorporate the thing slowly. There's no time yet until everything is in here. So I'm just gonna put it all in, get it started. Okay, now, once it's all together, and you can tell by looking at it, it won't be, you won't see like a lot of little lumps, or you see some, but that will come out. All right, turn your mixer down to low, and now you've got 2 eggs and a tablespoon of magic juice. What's magic juice? Vanilla bean paste. Oh, yeah. Not vanilla extract, vanilla bean paste. So this timer's going off. That means this crust is done. Take this out and let it sit till you're ready to fill it. So I always put my vanilla in with my eggs. I don't know why, just do. Recipes say add separate. I say, all right, so I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna stir this, because you can see how it's like creamy, but I wanna make sure that everything on the sides and the bottom is evenly distributed. Just wanna scrape, because these bowls are wonderful, these mixers, but a lot of times you can see, look, see how it didn't get the bottom right? This is why you wanna scrape, 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 scrape. And now we're gonna add 1 egg at a time. Your ingredients cannot handle all the eggs at once. So you have to do this 1 egg at a time. So dump 1 egg, wait till it mixes in, and this is with any recipe that you have, even cakes or whatever, your eggs need to be added 1 at a time. All right, that's mixed pretty good, because whatever you're mixing cannot handle incorporating all that evenly at once. Well, then you're gonna get like lumpy stuff. Like if you're making bread, you're gonna get lumps of where the egg just went in there. So So that's why you got to give it time to mix between each so it distributes it evenly. Okay. I am going to scrape the bowl again. And the beater. Now look at all that black gold in there. Oh my God. Okay, you can see. Get that bottom. All right. This is the next step where you're gonna set a timer. Okay, now that it's all incorporated, we are now gonna start whipping that cream cheese. This is what's gonna help give it some lift. So you're gonna put this on medium-high, set your timer for 5 minutes, and it's gonna mix for 5 minutes. I'll see you back here in 5. All right, so our 5 minutes are up. Only taking this off because I want to make sure I get all this. I'm gonna scrape it. Oh, does that look good? I could just eat cheesecake right out of the bowl. Never mind cooking it. Okay, I make sure I scrape the bottom real good. Now comes the next part. You're gonna take 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream at room temperature. You're gonna pour that in, and you're gonna start out slow because otherwise you'll wind up with heavy whipping cream everywhere. Wait till it starts to incorporate some, gradually turn it up. Once you get it up to medium-high speed, yeah, here we go again, set your timer for 3 minutes. What you're doing now is you're actually taking the heavy cream and you're making whipped cream inside that cheesecake. This, between this and the cornstarch and all that mixing of the cream cheese is what's going to give you your volume and what's going to be light. It's not going to be real heavy like a New York cheesecake usually is. I once had 2 Christmases ago, I went to my brother's house in Philly for Christmas dinner, and of course I took the desserts. And one of the things I took is cheesecake, and his father-in-law was there. He's 91 years old, and after he ate the cheesecake, he said, "Young lady," he said, "I am 91 years old, and this is the best cheesecake I've ever eaten, and I've eaten a lot of cheesecake in my life. So give it a try, have some patience, because you're gonna need it with this cake, and then you'll see." Let me know what variations you've tried. Like, I've done this, I put my homemade strawberry jam inside of it. Pecans, I do a Snickers, I take Snicker bars, I chop them up and put them in, put ganache and caramel on the top for like a turtle cheesecake. I mean, you can do so much with just this recipe. Okay, we're down to 1.5 minutes. Setting my timer for 60 minutes.
Does it work better if you stare at the batter while it?
I just like watching it. I have this fascination with vanilla bean paste. I just look at it and go, that's liquid gold, man. All right, our 3 minutes are up, and our cheesecake is finally done mixing. Okay, now like I said, I'm going to make an Oreo cheesecake. So now is when I put in my Oreo crumbs, which is what's in this thing that was killing Mason that he thought this was sour cream. It is just Oreo crumbs that we've chopped up. I'm gonna start with a cup. There's no measurement here. You put in whatever, whatever, it's made with heart. You look at it and go, oh, I could use more of that. And I think a cup of for me, this works. A cup of the Oreos works. All right, that's done. Now we're gonna pour it into our pan. This is how you can tell if you did your mixing right. If you didn't, it won't be this fluffy, and it'll be more dense, and it'll sink, and it will self-level on you, but why chance it? We just do that, okay? We'll leave that for Mary because she's here to lick the bowl anyway. All right, so now we're gonna put our cheesecake in a water bath. I like to use this pot, but you can use anything. You can use like a cake pan, anything as long as it's bigger than the cheesecake pan you're using. And then you're gonna use very hot water. I've had water on the stove on like medium the whole time. It's nice and steamy. And actually I usually use a pitcher, but I'm gonna take this out for right now. So you're gonna pour your hot water in there. And here's the thing. You don't want this hot water going more than 1/3 of the way up your cheesecake pan. Trial and error, trust me. Put this in. That's actually perfect where it's at. Okay, and now we're gonna put it in the oven. And we're gonna set our timer for 1 hour and walk away. Okay, my timer's set. I'm just gonna start it. 1 hour, walk away. Now, in 1 hour, you're not gonna do anything. As long as that oven was 350 degrees, like I told you in the beginning, and you checked it, Trust me on the 1 hour. Do not open that door at 1 hour, test your cheesecake and go, oh my God, it's wiggly. Yeah, it's wiggly. It's gonna be wiggly. That doesn't mean it's not done. Just means you're not done baking it yet. In 1 hour, you're gonna shut that oven off and you're gonna leave that cheesecake in there for another hour. Oven off, another hour. Set your timer. When that one goes off, you are then going to open your doors to your oven. 1 hour. After that, you're gonna take it and set it on your table. Now, depending on, or your counter, whatever, depending on what the temperature is outside. Now, I know we're in the bakery here. I refuse to turn the heat on yet because we work with all this heavy equipment and it gets comfortable during the day. But when I come in the morning, it's freezing right now. I know when I open this oven door, I know that it's gonna slowly come down to temperature as the cool air comes in. So it's gonna be the same thing as putting it in the refrigerator. I walked in here this morning, I could see my breath. I mean, it was really cold. But that's what you have to cool it very, very slowly. If you don't, it's going to sink. Cheesecakes are very, very delicate and they're temperamental. If you do exactly what I tell you and you bake it for an hour, don't worry about what it looks like. Turn the oven off, let it sit in there for an hour. After that hour, open the doors, let it sit in there for another hour. And then from there, you either want to put it on your countertop or put it right into your refrigerator. It doesn't matter. It should be fine after those 3 hours of cooling down. But you have to let it sit for 24 hours before you can cut it. So plan ahead, because if not, you're gonna wind up with a mess when you go to try and cut it. Another trick is always use a hot knife to cut your cheesecake. Get yourself some really hot water, you stick your knife in there, pull it out, dry it off, cut your cheesecake. Before you make the next slice, put it in the water, wipe it off, make another one. And you'll have a perfect cut on your cheesecakes, all right? Leave me any questions in the comments. Let me know how yours turned out. I look forward to it. See ya, bye-bye. Okay, my timer's gone off for the first hour of baking. I did not open my doors. I'm turning the oven off and I'm gonna reset my timer for an hour. And I'm gonna do the same thing. When the timer goes off, I'm gonna open the doors and set it for another hour. Oh, that was only 40 minutes. I know how to count to an hour. That's it, guys.